So this is the first review I've done of Helluva Boss. This is going to be a review on the second to last finale of the season, episode 7. I would like to start off by saying they didn't need Luna. They did not. I feel like they just show her almost every episode just to show her off, just to let everyone know that she's still alive, still kicking. She's obviously not going to have any sort of plot relevance, I believe. If she does, I'm going to be amazed, but she's just kind of always just there in the background. She's like one of the most prominent background characters in the show. And when it comes to Blitz, because apparently this episode is going to be about him stalking Millie and Moxie when they specifically told him, leave us alone. We do not want to deal with you. We just don't. Just, this is our day. Let it be our day. Go away. Go do something else. Go to the bar that you were talking about. It throws basically away every bit of like depth he had earned in episode 6. But we'll see how it plays out. So this is just a side note. Why is the one of the royals of hell just kind of sitting around alone in his house, making himself cereal? Is something going on? Is it an your staff can leave day? Does he not even have one butler? I'm just really confused. I don't really know what this scene's trying to set up. I know it's trying to set up that he's lonely and that his wife and kid don't love him, but he still has staff, I'd like to assume. So why is he just sitting there by himself? And I'm very doubtful the episode's going to explain as to why. At least when it comes to why he's alone, as in physically just one being in that house. Everyone that thinks that these two are a couple, I want you to remember this scene, and I want you to remember Blitzo's face. Because since the last episode, which apparently has been retconned out of existence, he does not like Stolas. He doesn't want to be around him. He just sees him as a pawn, something to use. At least Stolas at least seems like he was like excited to be on the date with no strings attached. But that's not the same for when it comes with Blitzo. Blitzo just sees that this is why Blitzo's like the worst character in this entire show. And I just don't like following him. I would rather follow anyone else than I would follow Blitzo's whatever he is doing within his day. Because it's nothing good. He is basically lying to his whatever boyfriend, I guess, is what Stolas is thinking, that they're a couple now. So he's lying to his boyfriend, and then he's just there for no reason other than to stalk his 2 employees that told him go away for the day. This is not a good character. He is like the worst written character I have ever seen. See, this is the issue with how the writers had written Blitzo's character. Because when Stolas asked him, what made you decide to ask me out? Now look at him. Look at this character. There's nothing redeeming about him because he can't find anything. The writers apparently, they didn't even try to find anything redeeming about him. He's just there to stalk people. He's not even like paying attention to the guy who got all dressed up and is apparently buying everything for him tonight. He can't even give him the time of day. He's still off trying to find his employees so he can stalk them. And I will say a couple things when it comes to the design of the show. While I am really annoyed that it's still mostly reds and blacks, the fact that Lust has like blue in there, like it works out pretty well. The environments are always gorgeous in this show. I will say that. I genuinely love how they look. Okay, so like when they actually like take time and actually like put a decent amount of work into the environments. But I will say that seeing the imp designs is getting a little tiresome. They're all just they look too samey. If they could just, they need to really like stop giving them all the red color scheme. They really do. Everyone in the background just looks like the same variation of Blitzo, except for a couple. But they're not, unless they're like the enemy of the week or something. They don't really tend to get any sort of like really unique design. Okay, so this is a really dumb revelation. So apparently, that's what's being shown on screen is the real Fizzyaroli. And you can tell it's the real Fizzyaroli by the fact he has actual pupils, which I kind of figured that was him. They always tend to do that in shows. But it just seems really dumb that Blitzo would say, oh, no, not him, to say that that's saying that those two have history. So not only does Blitzo have history with the actual guy, that the amusement park is based off of, he also has history with his, like, not even real AI bot. So why wouldn't you just have Fizzyaroli be in, like, the very first episode? I mean, not very first, the very second episode of Lululand. And then instead of the AI, the robot being an AI, it would just be him, magically, like, not magically, but electronically controlling the robot, and then just, spouting through the robot's mouth how much he just can't stand Blitzo. And then it would make more sense for you to say this character and Blitzo have history, because now it just seems dumb to include basically the same character again. Okay, so I will admit that them having a callback to him not knowing who caused the explosion at Lululand is actually a nice touch. I'm glad they included that. I just feel like they should have had the season finale be literally episode 6, and then they should have kept this episode like far away into next year until they could have written it off better, because right now it just seems so it just seems like it's a nothing plot. They're not doing anything. What are they doing that's so important? The only reason that the events that are happening in this show right now are happening is because Blitzo just wants to stalk his employees. That's it. That's the whole reason. Is that a good reason for this story to happen? Really? The writers couldn't think of anything else. It couldn't have just been a Moxie and Millie episode while leaving their boss behind, just like they do with, like, Luna. Why couldn't they have just given Blitzo and Luna a day to themselves? You could have even given Blitzo and Stolas a day to themselves, and it just been an episode about Moxie and Millie, with maybe, like, the characters remembering them. And then just trying to either sue them, I guess, if he mistook Moxie and Millie Fizzyaroli for, the people that blew up his park, because they were there. Or you could have had Veronica try to get revenge on them because she remembers them. And Moxie's song was awful. I'm very glad that they changed that. And then when Asmodeus decides to show up, I don't see how is he the, I don't know, ruler of lust? He doesn't look very lusty. I mean, he's fluffy, but I mean, half the characters in this show are fluffy. So I don't really see, like, how he's really lustful, because when you think of someone lustful, you think of someone that you can't stop staring at them. I don't even see him. He's almost a part of the background. I will say that probably a decent touch would be that he is, like, he's got multiple, like, legs, like, of different kinds. So, like, I mean, if all of him were, like, beautiful but still, like, mismatched, like, then I could admit that would make sense, I guess, for lust, because it's two beings basically making one. But that's not really how he, like, looks. He's just some sort of like he's almost like a ghost that you would draw on like Halloween Day. That's what his face looks like a pumpkin, a carved pumpkin. He doesn't really bring me any sort of like ideas of two people like making out. He just looks. I'm trying to figure out who he sounds like, and I just figured it out. He looks and also sounds like a knockoff Oogie Boogie from The Nightmare Before Christmas. So another thing I've noticed is that he also has two faces in the background. They're also animated as well. Okay, so like it's fine on like a replay if you happen to see these two faces, but if you're watching it and you're not like looking for details, you're not gonna notice it. It just seems like it's just another uh, just unlike regulated use of the animation budget for no reason. They're not even really all that defined of faces. If you had cut them out, you would have literally lost nothing to the character. I will find that the one part of animation that I did find that was actually pretty well done was when Osmosius had basically brought himself down and Fizzyaroli was holding him up, his giant weight. I do wish that Osmosius wasn't he wasn't so like top heavy, because like his body doesn't even look like it could remotely like hold his figure, and I really dislike that about her character designs. That like why do they have to be so like spindly? Even though really big characters like Osmosius, he's like five Stolas all packed into one, and he still looks like he would basically fall, break his entire body if he happened to actually like try walking in the actual real world. These characters have like no like density. They don't even look like they would like survive on their own. They just the character design in the show. They really do work on it. And as soon as Blitzo reappeared, I immediately remembered that he was in this episode, and I rolled my eyes. Because why? Why does he need to be in it? There's no reason. There's no reason he needs to be in this episode. This is the same exact issue that people used to have with Steven Universe. Besides the endings, was that every episode, no matter what it was about, it had to feature Steven. It had to, in some way, shape, or form. He had to be there. And this show is the exact same way with Blitzo. There's not one episode where he has not been a focal point of the episode, and it's really tiresome. I just want to see anyone else but him. Anyone else. He's such a badly written character. This episode just feels like a rehash of episode 6, only instead of actually being well done, the writing is so poor. The only decent writing bit is like when Asmodeus comes up to Stolas and then tells him, "You gave everything away for Blitzo just to make love to him," or I would guess I wouldn't even call it love what those two have. And then he's ashamed, but I mean, like, it's not because Blitzo doesn't love him; it's because he just got found out. So even he's a terrible character. So I'm finally glad that the writers have finally realized that these two do not have a decent relationship. Yeah, that's actually pretty toxic. But the fact that they give only Stolas the blame in like saying like Blitzo does not also enjoy it doesn't even make sense, because at the end of episode 6, he's the one who wants sex. He wants to be like it's not like it's just a one party thing. He also engages in it. So for him to just blame Stolas and say like, you want to have sex with me, they both want it, but that's all they want. And I do think that the Stolas, I feel like what would be best is if Stolas is just like a business partner and Blitzo is again just a business partner, because see, none of their feelings would have gotten hurt and they would have been just fine if Blitzo wasn't the cause of his own problems. He literally is the reason he had to be humiliated when he went out that night. No one else's fault. Millie and Moxie didn't even know he was there. And like another thing is, they didn't even need to be a part of the episode at all. You could have just given them the same cameo you gave Luna. Because again, this episode's about Blitz and about Stolas and blah 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 blah. It's the same tired old spiel. We've seen this 1,000 times with these two these two now. They don't have any chemistry. Stop putting them in everyone's faces. Give us a different plot line. Give us different characters. I'm so sick of seeing both Stolas and Blitzo. So let me make a guess as what's going to happen next episode, based off the riveting cliffhanger. Blitzo and Stolas are going to realize either they're a terrible couple or that they're a great couple for some reason. And then they're going to work on their issues, and next season they're going to be an actual couple, I guess. I'm so sick of this plot line. It's so stupid. Oh, why does it keep showing up? I'm so done with it. It's not even been that many episodes, and I can't stand seeing those two in the same room together. And so, like, it ends, the cliffhanger, let's talk about that. It ends with Blitzo crying because he was going through photos that apparently he's held throughout the years. He apparently has only taken, like, maybe 3 recent new photos, and that's where it ends. Like, him realizing, I'm a terrible human being, and then crying. And then that's how the episode comes to a close. Well, that was just great writing. I'm so happy. I'm so excited for next episode. Oh, my Lord. This is awful. This is genuinely awful writing. This is like, oh my gosh. This is bad. This episode would have been so much better if you would have taken out either Millie and Moxie, or you would have taken out Stolas and Blitzo. Yeah, you take out 2 pair of characters, it would have worked out a lot better than it did. Because when you have Blitzo and Stolas there, they're just rerunning the same theme that happened last episode, only in reverse. And the difference being that Blitzo is the reason for his problems and why he's crying right now. And if you would take it out, Millie and Moxie, they weren't even in the episode for that long. They were there to tell him, do not come to us, to set the setting of the main part of the episode, and then to sing a really awful love song. That was it. All right. So I really hope they get better writers next season. Please get better writers. Please. But I don't know. If you got this far, thanks for watching. Bye.